I knew the moment she saw me. Her smile tightened, her eyes narrowed, and her fingers, perfectly manicured, surgically still, wrapped around my forearm as if I were something she needed to drag out of sight. "You don't belong here," she whispered, venom soft enough that only I could hear it. Guests laughed behind us, champagne shimmered in crystal, and I stood in the doorway of my own brother's wedding, holding the envelope with the $100,000 gift he thought I couldn't afford. She wasn't wrong. I once couldn't. But that was before she betrayed me, before they both did. And as she tried to pry the envelope from my hand like it somehow belonged to her, I felt the snap inside me. Not loud, not explosive, controlled, clean. The kind of snap that comes right before a perfect plan locks into place. Back then, before she learned who I really was. The first time I met her, my brother introduced her as the girl who saved him. She was radiant, disarming, a force of confidence. And when she hugged me, too long, too tight, I mistook it for warmth. I wanted to believe she was good for him. God knows he needed someone steady. I didn't question the glances she exchanged with him when money came up, or how often she asked about my finances, my investments, my company. I chalked it up to curiosity, family talk. Back then, I trusted easily, foolishly. The betrayal didn't arrive in a shout. It arrived in a notification, a forwarded email, sent to me by mistake. Her name attached to a message meant for someone else. He's naive. He'll hand us whatever we want, a walking wallet pretending to be family. The words hit like ice water poured straight into my ribs. There was more, screenshots of my brother's replies, his agreement, his encouragement, and the final line that sealed everything. "We'll ask for the loan next month. He won't say no." So they'd planned to bleed me, together. I didn't respond, didn't confront them, didn't give them a single flicker of emotion. Emotion is a weapon, and one I no longer intended to hand out for free. Shift, when my heart hardened enough to think clearly. I spent the next 6 months studying them, their habits, their patterns, their weaknesses. My brother depended on her approval like oxygen. She depended on status, money, jewelry, influence, the illusion of untouchable elegance. So I targeted the places where both would crack. I funded his dream business anonymously, but structured it so every cent was tied to my name on the back end. I donated to her favorite charity in her honor, knowing the tax fraud tied to it was an open secret, and that connecting me to it would be her only escape when it collapsed. Everything I did looked generous, harmless, brotherly. But every move tightened a rope they didn't know they were already wearing. The wedding where the knot finally closed. She dragged me behind a floral arch wall, smile sharp as glass. "You should put that gift on the table," she said, tapping the envelope. "We'll keep it safe." "We?" I asked. She smirked. "Well, I handle the finances now." My brother approached then, eyes avoiding mine, hands trembling slightly, guilt leaking through every crack. He knew. He knew what she had done. He knew what they had done. But he didn't know what I had done. Not yet. I opened the envelope, pulled out the check, and handed it to him directly. "For you," I said. For a moment, her face went ghostly pale. She realized she'd lost control of it. And then, exactly on time, my phone buzzed. The arrests started. Board members, accountants, charity executives, her charity, her alibi, her safety net, gone. A second buzz. My lawyer confirming my brother's business, now fully in my name, had been dissolved due to mismanagement. Bank accounts frozen, assets seized. His face went sheet white as the notifications hit his own phone. And then he did the unthinkable. He stepped toward her instead of me. "You ruined us," he whispered to her. "You said he'd never fight back." Her mascara streaked down her cheeks as the room behind us erupted into whispers. She wasn't the queen of the wedding anymore. She was the scandal, the fraud, the downfall. All the things she thought she could make me. I simply watched, calm, steady, detached. Because for once, she was the one freezing while her life collapsed, not me. I left before they finished arguing, before the police arrived, before the guests connected the dots. I walked out into the cool night air, lighter than I'd felt in years. Some people think revenge is fire and fury, but mine was simple, precise. A quiet rearranging of truth until the guilty collapsed under the weight of their own greed. And as I stepped off the venue steps, I finally understood. I didn't go to the wedding to give a gift. I went to collect what was mine. My peace, my dignity, my justice. And I left with all of it.